Good afternoon, I am Precious Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Park levels DMMU disastrous on account of financial irregularities. President HH hold for championing child rights. Join me with the details after this commercial.
The trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the
She has so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
We still need more players, yes, because we need to balance the team. We need to have maybe on one position 3 or 4 players.
The third Camnet Stars football trial is on. This time, Camnet Stars are looking for young, talented and skilled soccer players between the age of 18 and 20 years old. Start your lucrative football career in Europe this July. If you know you are one of Zambia's best gifted soccer players, don't waste your time. On Sunday, the 13th March 2022, there will be trials for professional soccer stars. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Time, registration 13 hours. Kick-off 14 hours. 100 kwacha non-refundable shall be paid, and your birth records must be produced upon registration. Camnet Stars, setting football standards for international market.
And now the media news in detail. The Parliamentary Accounts Committee has described the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit as disastrous on account of financial irregularities as indicated in the Auditor General's report. Former DMMU National Coordinator Chanda Kawe Tuesday failed to appear before the Public Accounts Committee to respond to various issues contained in the Auditor General's report. Mr. Kawe was reportedly sick but was advised to appear virtually but could not appear before the committee tasked to probe financial irregularities in the management of national resources. Various issues were raised surrounding the procurement of COVID-19 materials such as face masks and swabs. The witnesses from the DMMU could not answer as to why they failed to provide auditing information to the Office of the Auditor General.
In the public office, there is a time for everything, the time to spend and distribute materials, but there is also that time to account for expenditure. And this is the duty that the Public Accounts Committee does best, and Tuesday the witness was the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU. The meeting could not start with the right dress code which needed to be observed.
Former procurement officer, if he has a jacket, he is not in order to come before this committee. I think he's a seasoned and senior member. He must have an orderly dress which is acceptable here.
Okay, that to be resolved. Mr. Kapekele, please can you find a jacket as you appear before the committee? Thank you so much. So we'll excuse you to quickly go outside and organize yourself. Then you can come in.
The former Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU National Coordinator Chanda Kawe failed to turn up before the Public Accounts Committee to respond to various issues contained in the Auditor General's report, but Park assured to invoke necessary provisions.
Assign someone to try and get hold of him as we proceed, because we're not going to stop the proceedings. We'll proceed and then they'll try and get hold of him, and then if he doesn't appear, then we invoke certain provisions.
Among the pertinent issues was the failure to produce auditing information to the Office of the Auditor General. The procurement officer claimed that the documentation was just delayed.
Documents were just delayed in being made available. Not that they were not availed to the auditors.
They were just delayed, but yes, they were made available.
Yes, they were made available.
What does that mean?
But the Auditor General argued.
Thank you, Chair. That is not the correct position. And even now, some of the documents, they can't produce them. I submit.
Throughout the proceedings, the committee was not happy with the responses that were provided by the people who were appearing before it.
The internal auditor is trying to mislead the committee. And as such, I think through the national coordinator, appropriate action has to be taken. People should learn to take audits seriously.
And it was observed that while the DMMU was busy managing hazards in the country, it was also a disaster that needed urgent response. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Taxi drivers in Lusaka Central Business District have described the monthly fuel revision by the Energy Regulation Board as unsustainable, stating that this is negatively affecting their business. The ERB on Monday revised fuel prices, which saw petrol rising from 19 kwacha.84 ngwe to 21 kwacha.96 ngwe and diesel from 18 kwacha.93 ngwe to 21 kwacha.54 ngwe per litre, while price of kerosene remains unchanged. Meanwhile, Zambia Consumers Association Executive Secretary Mr. Juba Sakala has advised for quarterly review to allow consumers to make predictable budgets, stating that the current trend is disturbing many areas of citizens' lives and the economy.
The Energy Regulation Board in December 2021 announced its intentions to begin carrying out monthly fuel reviews to ensure that current fuel prices are in line with prices on the international market. While some stakeholders held this move, stating that this would prevent seemingly wide increments after a long period of time, others feared that this would bring instability in many sectors of economic activities. The country has so far witnessed both an increment and reduction in fuel prices, with the latest action being another increment announced on Monday, 28th February 2022. This has seen the price of petrol being increased from 19 kwacha 84 ngwe to 21 kwacha 96 ngwe, and diesel from 18 kwacha 93 ngwe to 21 kwacha 54 ngwe. Concerned parties have expressed divergent views over the monthly review of fuel, among them taxi drivers in Lusaka Central Business District.
As a taxi driver, what we need is maybe they can increase fuel after 6 months, because we are affecting even our customers, because we can't increase and we can't reduce, so it's affecting in fact everyone. Both of us, a taxi driver, even an individual who is boarding a taxi, because it's an inconvenience to them. At the moment, we are still using the same price, because we don't know. Maybe if you increase, like going to intercity is 50 kwacha. If you increase to 60 kwacha, people will still complain. But why are you increasing?
It has really affected our business, because the time they reduce the price, when we charge this, the ones who books it, they will refuse, saying fuel have been reduced. So again, when it comes like they have increased again, to increase again, it will be so difficult.
The Zambia Consumer Association ZACA have also expressed their views. ZACA Executive Secretary Mr. Juba Sakala was speaking to Camnet News.
This monthly reviewing of fuel has a negative impact on consumers, because it distorts their budget. Every time now you have to more like anticipate how much it will be. So even your budget, you really don't know, because you might budget something, maybe the fuel is higher than what you think or is lower than what you think. They need to distort your budget in any way, or somebody to live, you need to make a budget, and that budget makes you predict how you're going to spend your money. But with this unpredictable mechanism to increase fuel, it makes business uncertain, because it has created uncertainty in people's minds and even business environment. People now, they don't know how much they will spend next month or how much they won't spend next month. So the issue is, let IRRB review this. Let them make it a 3 months time for them to review, so that people can able to budget.
Among the reasons cited by the Energy Regulation Board for the increment is the disruption in fuel prices, which has been sparked by the war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as the depreciation of the kwacha against the United States dollar. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, members of Parliament championing comprehensive sexuality education have hailed President Hakainde Hichilema's stance to end child marriages, teen pregnancies, and gender-based violence in the country. Last week in Eastern Province, during the commemoration of the Nchwala traditional ceremony, the head of state reaffirmed his commitment to safeguarding the plight of children and the girl child. Parliamentarians say the statement by the head of state demonstrates political will towards tackling teenage pregnancy and child marriages in the country. Speaking on behalf of the 15 members of Parliament at the Parliament building in Lusaka Tuesday, Itesteji constituency member of Parliament, Twambo Mutinta, says they are in support of comprehensive sexuality education because it is key in revising vices affecting children.
Zambia has seen the worst when it comes to child marriages, teen pregnancies, and gender-based violence. And statistics to back that up are alarming. For instance, 15,724 teenage girls dropped out of school in 2019 alone, and 7,920 cases of gender-based violence were reported by the Zambia police countrywide during the fourth quarter of 2021. Last week, while in Eastern Province, during the commemoration of the Nchwala ceremony of the Ngoni-speaking people of Eastern Province, President Hakainde Hichilema affirmed commitment to safeguard the plight of children in the country.
Traditional leaders, church leaders, this new government, let us work together to end child marriages, early marriages. Let us work together to end early pregnancies. Let us work together to end gender violence.
This has excited members of Parliament championing comprehensive sexuality education, saying the gesture demonstrates political will to end child marriages, teen pregnancies, and gender-based violence in the country. Itezitezi constituency member of Parliament Twambo Mutinta spoke on behalf of the 15 members of Parliament at the Parliament building in Lusaka Tuesday.
The statement President Hakainde Hichilema made not only demonstrates the highest political will by the new Dawn government to clearly underscore the resolve and intent to tackle early marriages and teenage pregnancies. We therefore, as champions, call upon fellow members of Parliament to take this message to every constituency and improve the life outcomes of our girls and young women in Zambia. We are informed by experts, members of the media, that comprehensive knowledge about HIV in girls is only 40% and 38.6% in boys, while teenage pregnancy stands at 29.2%. The Health Management Information System,
he says, comprehensive sexuality education will help empower young people with the right information on reproductive health, further urging the church, traditional leaders, and the general citizenry to support the agenda.
We also join him in urging traditional leaders, church leaders, community leaders, and caregivers to take proactive steps to stop all forms of gender-based violence. We appeal to the law enforcement agencies to make sure that cases of teenage pregnancies, child marriage, and other forms of gender-based violence, some of which are defilement cases, are not only recorded but are prosecuted in the courts of law. We urge the clergy to familiarize themselves with the CSC curriculum and integrate its intents in their Sunday or Sabbath and youth programs to end vices that promote unhealthy behaviors that have not spared the church and other religious circles.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet the Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Park levels DMMU disastrous on account of financial irregularities. President HH hold for championing child rights. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.